So PlayStation State of Play was announced for Thursday. This is after yesterday we posted a stream clip of me talking about it was weird that we didn't see it and we had no news of an event. It is, let's see. So they announced it. It is slated for Thursday, the 30th. So literally cutting it just about as close as you possibly could to the end of the month. The live stream will show off 14 titles and begins at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 4 p.m. my time. I should be able to do that. I think we can stream that. It will last more than 30 minutes, so probably less than 40, but you know, a little over half an hour. The show will include updates on PS5 and PSVR 2 titles, plus a look at PlayStation Studio games arriving later this year. Ooh, the last State of Play presentation from January showed off Death Stranding 2, Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade, and an announcement of course, Physint, which is the new Hideo Kojima game that's probably coming on the PlayStation 6. While PlayStation has also been confirmed to be a partner for Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, it's currently unknown in what capacity the publisher will attend the show. Earlier this month, Sony Interactive Entertainment named Hermen Hulst and Hideaki Nishino as the new joint CEOs of PlayStation Business, succeeding Jim Ryan starting June 1st of 24. In a web call following the company's latest results, interim CEO Hiroki Totoki reiterated plans to, quote, aggressively improve profit margins, partially with an enhanced focus on bringing its games to PC. So, yeah, PlayStation boss Hermen Hulst also said at the time that the platform holder was reevaluating how we operate and that the layoffs had resulted in the cancellation of unnamed game projects. A lot of live service games were canceled, seemingly. So, all of this to say, key takeaways. This is a state of play. It is not a full-on showcase. That to me suggests that they're not going to come out swinging with like tons of crazy hardware announcements. I don't think they're necessarily going to showcase any wildly baffling stuff. I'm assuming this is probably a more streamlined thing. The other thing is that they mentioned specifically they are going to be showing off PlayStation VR 2 titles. And so when I'm like, okay, well, of the 14 titles, they're probably showing a handful, maybe 4 or 5 VR games. So we're down to like 9 non-VR games, probably a handful of smaller little ports and stuff that are coming to PlayStation. And that's about it. So I would expect we see probably, honestly, I think we probably see Concord. I think we see a lot of that. I think we probably see another trailer for Fair Games, which is that other live service game. I think we probably see, I don't know, my gut's telling me Ghost of Tsushima 2 will not be there. I maybe it's just that I'm feeling really burnt out after the last showcase was kind of like, okay, but my gut's just telling me we don't see Ghost of Tsushima 2. I hope we do, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be more like God of War Ragnarok coming to PC and The Last of Us Part 2 coming to PC and stuff like that. I have a feeling it's not going to be a whole lot. They could, of course, do something really cool. They're supposedly coming out with a PlayStation 5 Pro by the end of this year. They don't have any big games to release during that time, but maybe that's what they're trying to do with next gen upgrades or something. So maybe they have a video where they show God of War Ragnarok running on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it's like, see, it looks better. See, it's a special version just for the PS5 Pro, and then we're also bringing it to PC. I kind of get a feeling they're going to do stuff like that. As for other stuff, yeah, Evil Cat, I think you're onto something. Evil Cat on Twitch says, I think we won't see any major game like Ghost of Tsushima 2. They'll keep the big games for the PS5 Pro announcement. Well, that's the thing that I think makes the most sense. If you are PlayStation and you have a big game that you know a lot of people are going to be losing it over, like a Ghost of Tsushima 2 or the next Naughty Dog game or something like that, that's really going to push the boundary graphically. If you're trying to showcase the PS5 Pro as this powerhouse of gaming, it makes sense to show a game that really will take advantage of that power. And I think any one of those games that would take advantage of that power would justify it being a full PlayStation showcase, not a state of play, not a smaller thing. Because the state of play, I mean, it could just be that this is the rebranded, like, oh yeah, it's just a a state of play, but it's just what we're calling our events. Could be the case, but these names have meanings that they've established in the past. Same with like Xbox doing a developer direct. You can expect something different than an Xbox full like indie showcase or an Xbox full Call of Duty showcase. Like they try to set expectations in this way. With this, I get the feeling that this is going to be probably a handful of live service games, some PSVR 2 stuff that nobody's going to play, and then like maybe we get a look at some PC ports or something like that. But I'm not getting my hopes up for this. I just have a feeling that this is going to be a whole lot of nothing. I think it's going to be a lot of games nobody really cares about, like Concord and Fair Games, and then some PC ports. I would love to be wrong, but that's that. I also think that we'll talk to Joel Raptor about it on the podcast here in a bit, but I also think that there's the real potential for the Horizon multiplayer game to be shown off, because they've been working on that for years. And honestly, if they release that next year, I think they're screwed, because like actual Monster Hunter Wilds will be releasing next year, almost certainly. So if they try to go head to head with actual Monster Hunter, like I don't think they're winning that, you know? Like if you have a Fortnite tweaked live service version of Monster Hunter, or just real Monster Hunter, I think gamers go to Monster Hunter, you know? Like I don't think that many people will be that stoked on the Horizon version. Maybe they are. I don't know. What do you guys in chat think? Like, do you think that the Horizon live service game of Monster Hunter basically could be even slightly competitive? Because I think the second that they drop it, everybody that was playing the Horizon game goes to the actual Monster Hunter. Do those games really compete for an audience that much? Well, it depends on how they frame it. That's a good question, Mr. T, and that's perhaps the most important question. If this is framed as a live service that has monster hunting stuff, but also maybe has PvP, maybe it has like a battle royale mode or all sorts of stuff, then I think it could withstand the storm that is Monster Hunter Wilds much better. But if it is what rumors have suggested, which is that it is almost just like Monster Hunter, you play co-op with your friends, there's a central hub you all can gather in, and then also it's in the Horizon universe and it's got like a Fortnite coat of paint to it. If that's what it is, I don't think it competes with Monster Hunter. Like, because me and my friends that love Monster Hunter would probably try it. We'd probably try it, but I don't think we would, I just don't think we would stick around the second we get the chance to try the real thing. I think Sony's playing it smart. They are going to let their games cook before showing anything big. Yeah, I think the Jim Ryan strategy was to come out swinging with live service games every few months, and that has largely flopped and fallen apart. They've canceled a lot of them. A lot of them have just not really materialized in the way they thought. They've wasted hundreds of millions of dollars on some of them, like the Last of Us online game. And so now they're like, well, now we just have huge gaps in our schedule. Because again, you got to remember that these studios and companies are making plans super far in advance. Like if you just think of the timeline of like 2015 and then like 2020, and then we'll do 2025 and then 2030. You have to plan all this stuff out because each one of these games takes like 5 years. So you have this game that took 5 years. You have to come up with the idea in 2015 and then execute it in 2020. That's what like The Last of Us Part 2 is, right? And same with something like Helldivers. Helldivers took a long time and released in 2024, but they came up with the idea there, they worked on it, and then released it there. The problem is that they greenlit a ton of projects in this time, and none of them have really materialized. Some of them have just straight up been canceled. Others have been, in progress, but nobody's really interested, like a Fair Games. And so now they're just trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do because their production schedule is all screwy now. Because like this, let's say The Last of Us Part 2 was supposed to release. This was green. Last of Us Part 2 or Last of Us Online was supposed to be this green bar. Well, it's gone. It's canceled. So that's just gone. So now there's nothing releasing in this window here. And then they release Helldivers, and that does really well. But this game also canceled. And then Fair Games is coming, or this one was also canceled. This is Marathon. Marathon's going to release, and it's probably going to be pretty good, but that's a long ways off. And then, you know, you just have to have all of these projects going at the same time. And if a couple of them drop, you end up like what we have now, where you have 2024 with basically nothing except Helldivers releasing. They might have like a PC port or two. And that, like, this is why they put the PlayStation Studios branding on Rise of the Ronin, because they wanted to make it seem like they had more stuff in the catalog ready to go than they actually did. But this just happens under mismanagement, you know? So we do have Concord coming. That's true. So if we draw like a little orange, we have Concord coming allegedly by the end of this year. And I'm expecting we see that showcased at the event. But even Sony's PlayStation, or Sony's head, said they didn't have any big tentpole releases. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the original quote. Yeah, his exact verbiage was no major franchise release. Latest fiscal report, Sony president Hiroki Totoki said it wouldn't release any new major existing franchise titles before April of 2025. So no Ghost of Tsushima 2. No big surprise announcement from any of the other companies doing sequels or anything. Like, no Last of Us Part 3, shocker. We're not getting anything like that. Probably Concord, a new IP from a new team trying to do a live service game. And maybe that blows up, but they got a lot of littler stuff coming. I fully expect that we probably see Concord at this event. I think we probably, you know, see maybe a trailer for Fair Games. I think we see news of like PC ports of maybe God of War Ragnarok and The Last of Us Part 2. And maybe we get a big surprise announcement for like a Horizon Forbidden or a Horizon multiplayer online, whatever. Because I think they have to announce that soon. Otherwise they're in trouble. But other than that, I don't know what else we could reasonably expect to see. I think they could showcase Ghost of Tsushima, just a trailer to get everybody to calm down and leave them alone. But like you guys were saying in chat, I think it makes more sense for them to wait until they're doing the PlayStation 5 Pro showcase, which I don't think this is going to be. PlayStation this generation was the remake console. In the last 2 years, they had almost nothing. And I mean, as far as I can tell, it all goes back to Jim Ryan. Like, if he had let some of these big studios work on single player stuff instead of this live service garbage, we would have that now. But Last of Us 2 on PC could be good. Oh yeah, no, any chance to get more games on PC that were previously exclusive, I think is great for the industry in general. So I'll be happy about that. I just think we need to be clear. Like, I don't think that they're going to be coming out with like surprise announcement. Look at The Last of Us Part 3. Maybe they do. And maybe this is part of the grand plan, is that they're like, yeah, we're going to say it's a state of play and we're going to kind of let them down and make them think that this is just going to be like VR stuff and remakes and live service. And then we're going to blow them away with a look at what Naughty Dog or Santa Monica's been doing. Maybe that's what they do. But Elden Ring DLC. So that's a good question. Do we see that at this PlayStation event? Maybe we get a little trailer. I expect it to be at Summer Game Fest. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not, but I'm just guessing it'll be there. But honestly, it's going to be wildly successful whether they show it off or not. We all know we're already buying it. Let's be honest. Like, the Elden Ring DLC is going to be huge and epic, and I'm sure we're all going to love it. So if we see it, great. But I'm almost at the point with the Elden Ring DLC where I want to go into like lockdown. You know, there's some games where you're like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready to go into lockdown. I don't want anything spoiled. Let's just call it good, you know? He took my thing.